I'm going to show you the absolute best spot to place your first base. In fact, I'm going to show you 3, mostly because A, some people are risk averse. B, some people might be playing in hardcore and therefore not want to do what I'm going to tell you to do first. And C, I kind of want to go through the selection system in case you want to pick your own. Either way, to get to the absolute best starter spot, the first thing that I'm going to tell you to do is jump off a cliff. We need to die so that we can use the game's respawn system to select a different starting area. So just find something really big to jump off of, such as a big wall. Of course, there's always the option of getting the pals to finish you off if you need it. Once you have ended your mortality, we are going to move to this Icewind Island. I almost didn't look here, but this is genuinely going to be the best spot. Once we're here, we need to make our way to the fast travel point. You can see it's just up the cliff from us. So we're going to take a little bit of a climb. Climbing isn't too difficult in this game, which is rather useful to us right now. 5 raw resources that we need to worry about as we're going around in Palworld, but only 2 of them cannot be produced from within the base itself. They are the pal stones, so the blue glowy stones that you'll see as you're going around the map, and iron. Iron only appears on inland areas. It does sometimes appear on beaches and stuff, but generally speaking, it's usually inland. And the blue stones only appear near water. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to tap this fast travel point right here, which means when looking at the map, there are a few standout areas for us to look. There is this northern island and this northern island, and you can see just how much water and land is mixed in just there. There are also candidates to the east, but I did go and have a look and I didn't find any spots on these 2 islands as good as the one that I'm going to show you guys now. And we are going, you can see these 3 pools of water right here on this island. That is where we want to go towards, and it has multiple instances of iron and the palstone. So we're just going to go ahead, move pretty straight towards the water. Be careful when dropping over the other side, but it shouldn't kill us. There we are. Now, once you are over this big cliff, just be careful. There are some wolves over here, and we don't really want to get attacked. We are a little bit vulnerable as we continue making our way over. There are resources along the way. It's up to you if you want to stop and mine them. Maybe if you've already been playing for a while and you've decided that, you want to move your base, that's also not a problem. I'm going to show you how to do that. We have iron along the way. And one of the cool things about this island, actually, is a lot of the iron does, for whatever reason, seem to spawn in groups. It looks like in my case some enemies have spawned. These went here the first time I came. I guess that must be a random encounter. But this is the spot. You'll know that you've gotten here because of the cave. But we have 2 sets of iron. As you can see, we have spatterings of food with the berries. Some of it's in the water for some reason, but plenty of berries around it. So the pals will be able to gather food and feed themselves. Wood and the stone is over there. So we need to situate ourselves kind of in the middle, probably where those thugs are. So I really can't avoid them. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those out the way. I have a slight take 2 on exactly how to place your base, mostly because there's no indicator when putting down the pal box. So just in case you guys are selecting your own position, because maybe you'll pick one of the other areas, the diameter across the pal box is approximately 50 steps, 25-ish from the middle. So to get the most of the iron and the palstone, we actually want to go about 25 steps from the back of this iron ore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just because I've only just discovered this, I'm going to put this in right here because it's kind of funny. So if you place it and don't build it, you can actually see where the boundary is going to be by walking far enough away from the pal box. So I'm going to use that to get this in the perfect position. Now let's see how far off I was on this other side. All right, so yeah, I actually need to go forward just a little bit. I've got about, let's measure this in steps here, so that I can get both of the blue and both iron ores into my base. Just for a final zoom out and zoom in to the spot that I think is the perfect starting spot. That is going to get this one finished. All right then, so let's say you've decided that you want this to be your base, and you've already placed a base and it's not level 10 yet. So if I come into my build menu here and I go over to my pal box, it's going to say you can't build any more bases. Well, that's not an issue. The way that we get rid of the previous base is that we highlight it. So this is my original base over here. And for me anyway, it's RB, but it'll show you on the map, look, that you can just disassemble that base. And now we don't need to worry about it at all. Moving on to the next very good spot though, I'm actually going to show you guys a place that has all 4 parts, that isn't near a boss, and does not require you to die to reach it. For reference, the spot that I'm going to suggest is just to the northeast of the ravine entrance fast travel point. You may be tempted to put a base right where I'm stood right now, and that's because it's quite picturesque, full of all of the purple lavender looking flowers, which is kind of nice. Whoa, can you please leave it alone, good sir? And it does have the aldite stone that you might be wanting to get. But if we just come around the side of where this enemy camp is just here, we will find that there is a better spot that we can use, which is right here. You can see where I am. You can always see like the purple on the map there, which is kind of strange that this bit with the lavender isn't purple and this bit is. This affords us, if you set yourself kind of up in the middle, you've got flat space over there for anything that needs flat space. You've got the food over this way, the paldite down by the beach, which, so while we don't necessarily need water for the base, being close to water is effectively going to mean that you're close to the paldite. And we do, of course, also have the source of iron that we want to have in our starter base. If that seems a little bit risky to you, we can move over just a little bit. So from this exact same spot, we can just climb on up to the north. Be careful because there are quite a lot of the hounds here, and so this particular spot we're in right now is very slightly higher level than everywhere else that we've just been. But as you can see, this place actually has a nice defensible hill, good access to stone, food, wood, and iron. So if you don't want to use the spot that's next to the enemy camp, this isn't a bad side option. I'm sure some people are going to be down there saying, well, there's better places for iron. Yes, this is for your first base, not your second base. I'm assuming you would spend a fair amount of time here working on this. And so having your pals collecting all of the resources and therefore meaning that you're building all of them up at once, that is going to be a big advantage. If you want a couple of spots that have good mining spots to them, obviously we just went past the lavender field that has quite a few iron spots. There's one right here. Let me zoom out and then back into this one that's just on the south of this little crag. And Desolate Church, is also home to a very good spot with a lot of iron in it. So if you want iron specifically for a base, those two are going to be very good. But other than that, the three spots that I've just pointed out to you are going to be very, very strong. Most of them have good natural defenses, so you're going to have at least one side where you're not going to get attacked from, because we will need to defend our base, and that should give you a good start to Palword.